Mueller goes out of his way to put a couple of dates in this indictment, which he doesn't need. Certainly, the July 27th date is put in. That doesn't add anything. It's not required that he show that, that he knows that. But he wants us maybe to go do some research and discover that Trump said what he said on July 27th, which you played and mentioned, and John mentioned. But think about, I think, that for me, what's striking about that is, well, why does the I mean, you guys are prosecutors, I'm not lawyers, but why does he do that? I think he's signaling an awful lot of people out there, we know everything. We have, think of what he has to know to be able to say that. He has to have access to communications, presumably among these Russians and between these Russians and people elsewhere, people running WikiLeaks and so forth, and also presumably communications between these Russians and others perhaps in the United States. And I think if you're on the fence about whether to flip, if you're on the fence about whether you think, gee, maybe I can get away with this, you look at this indictment and you think, you know what, maybe I better place a call here to the Special Prosecutor's Office or to the Southern District of New York or someone in the Justice Department and say, you know, maybe I will come clean. So I think for Michael Cohen, for Paul Manafort, even though he's already indicted, but still he's in play in terms of someone who could flip, for many, many others, and many others we don't probably know much about at this point, this is a signal that Mueller knows an awful lot, and assuming there is some collusion with Americans, which I think is pretty hard to doubt at this point, I think this is his way of signaling those Americans, you know, let's play ball here.
Take a listen to how this statement from Donald Trump days ago sounds, given that the DOJ confirmed today that at the time he was making the statement, he already knew that these Russian agents were going to be charged for this very serious crime. Take a look.
We will, of course, ask your favorite question about meddling. I will be asking that question again. Well, he may. I mean, look, he may. You know, what am I going to do? He may deny it. I mean, it's one of those things. So all I can do is say, did you, and don't do it again. But he may deny. I mean, well, you'll be the first to know.
Bill, how does that look now?
And this morning, I think he said it was a rigged witch hunt, the whole investigation, right? So he's briefed that 12 Russians, senior officials in their government, in their intelligence service, are going to be indicted with all this evidence behind them, and then he still calls it a witch hunt. He's doubling down. He's not going to go gently into the good night here, and he's going to look at pardons, and he's going to look at doing things at the Justice Department, I think, to derail this investigation if he feels really under threat.